I'm working on the little mandrel now. What I did is I chucked it up on this diameter and I skint this true because there was it looked like at some time in this at one point this thing had been turned and it had been turned from the other side, so I was afraid it wasn't going to hold it nice and true. So I just skint that, and now I'm going to go ahead and true it up, and we'll do some facing and machine some threads on the OD here. Man, that's pretty close already. Okay, we're about a half a thou. That's pretty close there. Okay, I'm about 5/8 thick. I'm going to go ahead and face it to I guess 7/16 thick there. I might take it down a little bit more. Okay, about 552. All right, so 110. Take another 16. All right, so we'll go about 50, 55. You know, I'm going to need a little bit of room to chamfer, so I'll probably just go ahead and do this. Might just go ahead and make it 3/8. Yeah, I'm going to make this 3/8 long, so let me do some more facing. We'll bring you back when I'm ready to thread. Alright guys, I'm ready to do the threading on the OD here, 16 pitch. I want to point out I'm using a different threading tool than I normally do. This is my TNMC 32NV insert. It's the stand-up style. For the life of me, I cannot find my regular everyday threading tool. It's the style insert that lays flat, and I have looked everywhere and I can't find it, man. It's like it just vanished. I've been digging on the machines and on my little cart here, and I don't know where it's at, man. So it's probably right in front of me and I'm just not seeing it. So we'll just go with this one. I've had a lot worse luck using this style insert. They want to snap off sometimes. So hopefully I can get through this one and it won't break on me. Okay, CD1. Zero. Okay, 0. Good pitch gauge. All right. I would thread it a little faster than this, but that's coming up to that shoulder. 35. All right, let's check it. Just got to be careful. It's got a sharp edge on that back side there. Well, that was it there. Okay. Alright, well, got the threading done. I was hoping to sneak up on it, but that's actually got a good fit. Okay, I got it on there, and what I did, I've got a brass pipe wrench, and I got that hoping that I wouldn't mar it up too bad. It did catch it right there. It left a little ding on it there, but I wanted to make sure that it's going to be on there snug enough that when I go to mill it, that it's not going to try to it wasn't going to try to come off there. So I hope I got it tight, and with facing it, I was hoping it would tighten it up some also. Alright, so we should have about a 1/16, a little less than a 1/16, so we got about 50 thousandths. So we'll make a cut. Okay, we've got about 30 to come off. Alright, I think I'll leave that for the chamfer. If I need to, I'll do some hand dressing on that side of the thread there. I'll just flip my tool around a little bit more. We'll hit this other side. Alright. Got that burr right there. Get that thing off. Alright. So, alright, I'm going to set the milling machine up. I decided I'm going to use the super spacer. We'll use that, come in there and mill our notches. There was one important detail that I almost forgot. What I wanted to do was actually take the nut back off and install it here. And you see this is what we're working at. And I went ahead and found a new bolt because somebody has turned this one, and of course I don't know if that's factory or if somebody's done that, but it's definitely been turned on the OD. So I found a new 3/8/16 Allen cap head bolt, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in there, and I'm going to make a little scribe mark, and then I'll be able to measure it and see how deep I need to mill it when I come in with my end mill. So I'm going to make a little blue mark. We're going to use the little pilot marker that Chuck gave me. A lot of ink come out of that thing. I'll just run this down by hand, and that may mark it right there, but what I'm going to do is take my scriber. I'm just going to make a mark on here like so, and now I'll be able to measure that with my calipers and see what we need to take off. It's not a lot. I could have made the OD of that thing a little bigger. I just didn't want it too tight or interfering with the bolt, which I think I hit it on the right mark though, because that's right up against the thread. Okay, -1. So we're gonna have okay, so looking like about 1/8 of an inch. So we'll probably go in there like 125 thousandths, and I think that'll clear the bolt. So now let me go set up the mill. Okay, we got it set up on the spacer, then got it centered, and then I just moved it off to the side. I am worried that it's going to try to unscrew this thing. I just hope that I got it tight enough that it won't do it. We're not going very deep, but we do have a lot of surface that we're cutting at one time. So I don't know. I'm hoping that it's going to work out. So I'm going to touch off, and I'm going to move it in 120 thousandths. And we'll be indexing every 30 degrees. So here we go. Doesn't seem to like that wide radius there. We may just end up doing it like this right here. Okay. All right, well, the first one worked out. It looks like I'm right up on my scratch mark. Okay, by the way, this is a 9/16 end mill. The head of the bolt is 9/16, and I remeasured after I showed it to you, and it looked like 125 was going to be actually a little too deep, so that's why I backed it off. I'm just going to go 120. Okay. All right, I'm already on 180, so I got to index it every 30. So we'll go to 21 or 210 degrees. And you know what? We might try the little Keith Fenner hand wheel technique on this. Get it down here close. Okay. Man, I screwed that up. Ain't pretty no more. Well, that wasn't one of my proudest moments right there. It actually did what I was afraid that it was going to try to do. So, you know, the right thing to do is to start over and make another one. At this point, I don't feel like making another one because I got too much other crap to take care of. What I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to go ahead, because this is mine, I'm going to try to sacrifice this piece. I mean, I'm going to try to save it is what I'm going to do instead of sacrificing it and starting over. I went ahead and got a big pipe wrench and tightened this sucker up nice and tight on that mandrel. And I just made another cut and it worked. So I'm going to go ahead with it and see if I can get them all machined. And once I do, I'll put this back up in the mill and we'll make a face cut. I might just clean the OD up a little bit, and we'll put this side, you know, to the inside of the outboard support where you don't really see it. And I don't think much of it will be seen. So it did chip the corner of the end mill, so I flipped it over. And I've made another cut, so I'm gonna feed it in very gently. That first cut seemed to work good. I fed it in about 100 thousandths. It's trying to squeak quite a bit, so then I raised the tool up, I fed the table over another 20 thousandths, and then just brought it down with the quill. I think what had happened was I was playing around with this hand wheel. I was going to crank it down, and I wasn't watching what I was doing, and I came down and I actually hit it too hard, and it tried to dig in. And I was trying to stop it, but there was too much going on at one time, and by the time it flung it out of the machine. So, all right, so we're going to keep going on it, see if we can finish this thing up. All right. Okay, all right, there's 120. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set up my cool mist because that is quite a bit of rubbing that tool's doing. Okay, this should be my last one coming up here. Okay, that all worked out. The spacing worked out good. 12. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this piece out, and I'm going to go back to the lathe, and I'm going to make a face cut, and we might just skin the OD to kind of clean the burrs up, and then we'll come back to the mill and go ahead and put us a few holes in it. We'll probably do 6 holes maybe. All right, let's try to clean up my failure. All right, face looks better there. Okay, I think that'll work. Come back and chamfer that corner again. All right, well, it's about as good as it's gonna get. It ain't real pretty, but it's still gonna be functional though. All right, I got her set up again in the spacer. What I'm gonna do is drill 6 1/4-inch holes, just some shallow holes. And what that'll do is give me a spot that I can stick a pin like this. This is a proto pin punch of mine. I'll be able to use this and stick it in that hole to adjust this nut. What I was wanting to use is a pin spanner wrench like this one here that I use for my 5C collet block. This is the only size I have right now. It says it's good for up to 3 inches, so it might still work. It might work on this. Really what I need is the next size up, but we'll give it a shot. So go ahead and get started on it. We're going to do 6 holes. That'd be every 60 degrees. About like that. Okay. All right, so I'm 180. I'll go to 240, and we'll repeat. All right, got to do this 6 times. We'll be ready to go. I'll bring you back. All right, guys. I think I've about got this thing ready to put together. All right, so there's the new nut that I made, and you can kind of see what's left of the carnage from the fail that I made on the milling machine. But overall, it turned out pretty good. And as I said, we'll put it to the inside, and you'll never know it. So, all right, I just cut me a fresh 1/4-inch keyway, and that goes in the bushing. Also, keeps the bushing from spinning. So let's go ahead and install that. Oh, by the way, I was going to point out too that my pin spanner right here did work unscrewing it. So this can be used to adjust it. So I think this will work out fine. I can also use my pin punch if I need to. You get under there and turn it with a pin punch. There's not a lot of adjustment that you got to make once you get it set. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll stick the key in there. Go ahead and kind of slide her in. All right, put the carnage side down. Okay, and I'll do some fine tuning on this thing. Just for now, I'll go ahead and get it to work. And put the cap head bolt in it. Once we get it set, put the cap head bolt. It keeps the nut from moving. And it did turn out to be a pretty close fit on that radius. I could have backed off probably 10,000, so it would have been right there on it. So you can just tighten that up, and that's all that does is keeps the nut from moving either direction there. So there it is. So we can finally go ahead and put this overarm support to use. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get it fitted and try to get this bushing adjusted to where it's running on this steel bushing properly. And we may, once we do that, we may make some more test cuts on the mill. Alright, well, I've made a fine adjustment on the bushing, got it on the arbor securely. I think I've got it pretty tight, or not tight, but I've got it adjusted. to where it's a very close tolerance to the steel running bushing. And I went ahead and I just fed it in there just a little bit, and I think that this outboard support is doing the trick for me. The one I was using before that was out here just is not providing enough rigidity for a larger cutter. So we're gonna go ahead and make another little cut manually. I'll hand crank it through there, and you can see this is a 3/4 wide cutter, 6-inch diameter. Alright, well, I was able to finally make it through this piece with that 3/4 wide milling cutter there, and the repaired outboard support made a big difference. This size running out here on the end of the mandrel, that was a big deal there with the rigidity. So I can see my second half of the cut in here. It actually looks better than the first half. Whenever I tried using this cutter with the style lay support, and it was had a lot of chatter, a lot of noise, so I knew that it wasn't enough support for this. One of the problems that I think that I'm still having with this setup right here is the actual arbor itself has a bend in it, and I know that because without the spool in there, I turned it on, and I can see this end out here moving a little bit. So I think it's actually kind of in a bind right now, and that's why that cutter is cutting a little heavy on one side whenever it's coming around. But we'll, you know, if that's the case, we'll be on the search for another arbor. Hopefully, the one that I got from Ben, the 1.25 inch, now it seems to be nice and straight. He checked it for me before he sent it, and then when I had it in the lathe, it was running nice and straight. So the 1.25 inch is the one I'm hoping to be running more whenever I'm using this instead of the 1 inch. So. But anyway, you know, I'm happy about getting this new spanner type nut for the bushing done. And besides the epic fail that I had, I was able to save it, and it worked out. And you can look at it right here; you can't even tell. So that kind of it all worked out in the end. So we're well on our way to get this machine ready to run. Still got a lot to do, and it's slowly coming together. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this project here, and be on the lookout for some more. We'll keep them coming, okay? See you guys later.
Now, how does it go? Once upon a time, in the land of Greenvale, in Castle Grumgard, a young lord was born. I remember it well. You will have a life full of questions, young master. But I know what is in your blood. And on your 16th birthday, you will have your answers. Evil always finds a way, you know. As the years went by, troubles emerged for Castle Gromgard. The surrounding lands became blighted. The crops died. Halflings stole from the villages. Bandits and wolves terrorized the countryside. The young lord's father, Duke Gromgard, embarked on an epic quest to foreign parts, one which would restore the fortunes of his land. But in his absence, Duchess Gromgard ran away with a strong, rich nobleman from a neighboring realm. Floozy. To make matters worse, the Duke's quest proved fruitless. He returned disgraced, without a fortune and without a wife. Poor old devil. And then one day, on the young lord's 16th birthday, his father, broken-hearted and consumed by his obsession to restore glory to Gromgard, set out on another quest to save the land, leaving him alone with his rather unpleasant older siblings, Lord Grenville and Lady Gerda. This is the tale of what happened next.
God blimey, that brother and sister of yours are in a foul mood today. Mind you, they're in a foul mood most days.
I have matters to attend to in Illyrium, Gerda. You're in charge of the brat. I'm off out.
I'm not babysitting while you swan off to see your spineless, pointy-eared friends. My own business in the Golden Hills. The runt can look after himself.
Well, fine. Looks like you're on your own, little brother. Do try to mutilate yourself horribly. Better come down to the kitchen, young lord. Our birthday present has arrived for you. It's been in storage for years. Came with specific and very mysterious orders to deliver it on your 16th birthday. Very, fetching. Seems familiar somehow. I wonder who sent it. Someone's looking out for you, Lord. Don't you think so, Jinx? Oh, don't mind Jinx. He's been a bit down with all the anti-halfling feeling around here. But he's okay. Been with the Gromgard family for years, haven't you, fella? The halflings have stolen most of the food in Greenvale, little blighters. At least I've still got some pumpkins and a few old potatoes. Welcome, Master, to your new home. Drink in its dark and dank aroma, for that is the smell of evil, and it is in your blood, Lord Gromgard. I have been expecting you for a very long time. I've been having a little snooze since your christening. And a little snack. I am now your advisor and devoted servant of darkness. Your armor certainly suits you, Master. Disguises all that nasty human skin of yours. Now, I admit this place has seen better days, but all it needs is a splash of new evil to really darken the place up. Now your brother and sister have left, it's time for you to take Castle Gromgard for yourself. I suggest you start with your sister's room and rid the place of her precious trophies. There is a dark joy in the act of breaking things, so try striking some of your sister's precious trophies with your weapon. Ah, music to my old evil ears. Now, you may continue to break some other things if you wish, but I have some friends who can't wait to meet you. They're in your brother's room across the corridor. Control yourselves, minions! Scabby, don't you start whittling! These are your brown minions. Not much to look at, but loyal fighters that'll bash whatever you wish, sire. Sweep the minions across the ground towards your brother's beloved baubles. Minions love destruction and will smash anything they can get their little claws on. Well done, Master. You're a natural. See how happy they are when they don't have to use their tiny brains? Thinking only slows them down. There seems to be a commotion coming from the kitchen. I suggest you see what that racket is all about.
Put those potatoes down, you varmints!
Looks like you've got a halfling infestation, sire. Time to defend your castle and show those tubby devils who's in charge around here.
Run! Flee! Run away! Run away!
Follow those pot-bellied pests, sire, and make them pay.
The halflings have set the castle alight! I can stop the flames spreading too far, but you must find a way to put them out.
Sire, you must save the castle from the fires. Heat cooks, brown minions, so you'll need the reds to put out the flames. Unfortunately, the red minion hive is missing. I bet those blasted halflings have something to do with it. Quickly! I'm hiding in a cupboard, and it's getting a little toasty. It's not like the lazy halflings to be this daring or organized. Something or someone must be behind this uprising. That gate looks a little flimsy. I wonder what those halflings have been cooking up in that still. It looks hot, steamy, and full of pressure. Look, those vile halflings have imprisoned some of your red minions too. Impressive! You freed some wild red minions!
That red hive, sire!
It's the red hive! Your new fire-eating friends can extinguish the flames that block it. Sire, those wild red minions can only exist near their hive. But bring it to the castle, and you will be able to summon the reds anywhere. Ah, there's the waypoint gate, sire. The red hive will reactivate it, allowing you and the minions to teleport back into the castle. And then maybe you can stop me being burnt alive, if it's not too much trouble. Well done, sire! With the hive retrieved, red minion gates are available. These will let you summon red minions anywhere your evilness desires. Welcome to the spawning pit, sire. This is where your minions live. Ah, a place like this really warms my little black heart.
You've saved the castle from the fire. Thank you, young lord. Thank you. But there's still a slight problem.
Oh, it's Jenks. He's gone a little crazy. He must have been behind the halfling troubles all along. Traitorous little jangler.
The time of the halflings is now! Bow to me, or be crushed by my contraption of doom!
is yours now, Master. But now I think it's time to spread your dark influence a little further afield.
Greetings, Master!
As the young Overlord dealt with the treacherous halfling Jinx, Gromguard's light-fingered servants decided to leave and take the castle's forge with them. They headed off towards the nearby town of Meadowsweet, unaware of what was waiting for them. Shh. Lazy devils, those servants. No sense of loyalty. You should follow them, sire. Theft from the Overlord cannot be tolerated. And besides, the forge they stole will be most useful for making new weapons and armor for you. Haven't seen that insignia for years. It's the Black Flame Bandits. If those idiot guards were right about the servants being ambushed, then I bet the bandits have our forge. Time to steal from the people who stole from the people who stole from us, sire. They've captured a rock giant, Master. Very unpleasant creatures. Perhaps we can use it against the bandits. The good news is that lumbering brute has taken care of the bandits. The bad news is that now he's after you. You certainly put that stone-fisted brute to good use. Now, look for our stolen forge. It must be close by. Very good, sire. The forge is back with us and at your disposal. Do find time to pay it a visit and see what new armor and weapons are available. Now, to the business at hand, I think you need to go back to Meadowsweet and impose a little overlorder on it.
We can hear the bandits screaming from here. Come in, Lord Gromguard, come in.
You're not like your siblings. You and your rat are welcome here anytime.
Oh, you're fat and you're round and you don't make a sound. With such a god I could never be bored. You grow on a vine, oh dear pumpkin, be mine. Yeah. Oh well. She never loved me anyway. Hello there. I'm Nim, and this is the Pumpkin Shack. I hope you can do more for Meadowsweet than your siblings. They only care for the elves and the dwarves. Perhaps you could do something about the wolves. They've overrun the woods, and they're threatening the town. That's right. No one is going to worship you from inside a wolf's stomach, sire. Killed all the wolves that daft bard wanted you to. Time to return to town and make sure he's got suitable compensation for your efforts. Oh, wonderful, Lord, wonderful! The bounty from the town coffers is here for your greatness to do with as he pleases. As extra thanks from the town, we also offer your lordship a mystic relic. There's a young lady in town who wishes to speak to you. Rather distinctive red cloak.
Hello, Mr. Knight. I do hope you can help me. You see, I need to travel through the woods to Grandmother's house. But the woods are dark and scary, and I don't want to go through them alone. Would you and your funny little creatures be able to help me? Please? I'll wait for you at the edge of town.
grandmothers. They mean heirloom, sire, and pots of gold under the bed. Play along, let her lead you to Granny's, but the only ones we're really helping are ourselves.
Who left that silly little thing lying there? There we go. Nasty old boulder. Come on. Through here, Mr. Knight. Grandmother's got your reward right here.
Slightly non-standard decor for a grandmother, but anyway, think heirloom, sire.
Mr. Knight, you really shouldn't go off with strange little girls, you know. And you really shouldn't have killed my wolves.
Oh dear, it's a wolf queen!
More fun than eating grandmothers. Look, Murph, him and his little dogs killed that big old wolf queen. She was going to eat at us. Hey, why don't you got no blue dogs? Yeah, like that witch had. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, maybe they vanished like my friend Robbie. He ate a piece of gingerbread from that man in town and Giles and Sally and they never came home. Come on, Murph, let's get back to town where Ma'll tan our hides.
Good work with that wolf queen, master. That small human has seen some blue dogs. Could be our blue minions. You should pay a visit to the gingerbread seller they mentioned. It sounds like he's up to something unsavory.
I don't want no trouble. I'm just doing my job.
It's that witch. Doris, her name is. She gives me the cookies. I sell them. She pays me. And with pay that good, you don't ask questions. Look, all I know is the kiddies eat them and they go someplace else. I don't know where. Look, take this. I use it to get across the bridge out of town when I go and pick up my supplies. Just don't tell her I gave it to you, okay?
Hello, little boy! Did you like my gingerbread cookies? Huh, there are plenty more inside my cottage. But first, I'm gonna need something from you. Smile, please! Oh, very good. Now in you go. Oh, dearie me. I don't like visitors over 2 feet tall.
That doughboy must work for the witch. Look at that candy cane he's holding. Might come in useful. Time to silence that witch! Blooms are not gifted in the muscle department, but they can bring freshly killed minions back to life.
There you are! Business good, Miss Toothberry?
Listen, darling, it's Miss T, and nah, it's lousy. Dental hygiene's all the rage these days. Now, show me them milkies.
As we agreed, Miss T. Lots of lovely milk teeth.
Here you go. That's a gold piece for every one of them little pearly whites.
Thank you, Miss T. Here's your share of this week's takings.
So my hive is working out then?
Oh, yes. When the Witches' Council gave me this cottage, they said I had to wait inside for children to just wander by. Does that sound practical? So I simply sped up the process, established more of a franchise operation. With your hive production's way up, the teeth are just falling out. I hardly ever have to use the hammer.
Right. I have to get this gold to the Golden Hills. Widget needs more parts for his contraptions. This war isn't gonna start itself.
You again! Right! Prepare for a pastrying! My cottage industry ruined! My broom in pieces! I get the message. I'll leave. Maybe go turn a few princes into frogs instead. Take the hive. This is your land. I won't bother you again. I promise.
Sire, within these moors lie the giant gates to the dwarf lands. That sister of yours is somewhere inside.
But what about my war machines? The hyperflanges are all wonky. The gun gaskets and nubblies are held together with string. I'll never be able to use them against Greenvale in that state.
Calm down, Widget. We'll finish them. We don't need Doris to get gold. Step up production of the gnome statues. Snatch them, slop them, ship them. Then Greenville will be ours.
Well, I'll have to set more nets, and tougher ones too. Some of those gnomish blighters can bite clean through the usual ones. You're right, my love. Let's do it!
Your sister and that loopy dwarf are plotting against Greenvale, and that means against you, Master. You'll need to deal with this new threat, but first, there is something more pressing to attend to. Your subjects back in Greenvale are reporting a commotion by the farms, and no one likes a commotion, sire. Finish up in Hammerstone and return to Greenvale and find out what's happening. Invasion, Dark Master! You must defend your land! When vegetation attacks, sire, it's seldom pretty. Follow it! We can't have angry vegetation subjects, and who knows what else the pointy sops are hiding.
Friend or foe? You look decidedly foe-like to me. Begone, dark fiends!
Friends? Who'd want to be friends with an elf? Awful stuck-up creatures. Well done, sire! That's landed a powerful blow against the elves and their pet plants.
The leaves cry out in pain. The land shakes like a frightened deer. Who would do such a deed?
Clearly the cellular structure isn't tough enough.
Are you listening to me, Erasmus?
Yes, crying deer, frightened leaves, yes.
Do you want me to take away the hive and those smelly green things?
Don't touch the putrid pools. You mustn't touch the pools.
Oh, these were young. Just babies, really. What I'm working on in my hothouse, now those are something special.
Well, they'd better be. So it seems that your brother is up to no good either, sire. Never trust family. It's our greens, Master. They've been sealed in that contraption. Erasmus must be using the greens vapor in his experiments on the local flora. Their stench is certainly potent. You've got to get them out of there. Excellent work, and a worthwhile sacrifice. Now the greens can remove those poisonous gas clouds. There's another guardian tree, Master. Treat it to a little fire, and I'm sure it'll be dying to let you by. There it is, Master. The green hive. Have the minions pick it up and protect them as they carry it to the waypoint gate. I've been thinking, sire, there may be a way to turn your brother and sister's plotting to our advantage. Let me ruminate on this for a while. Excellent work, Master! With the Green Hive returned, you can now summon greens in any location. Come visit me in Gromgard. I've got a cunning plan to propose. It appears that the elves and the dwarves have both been plotting a warlord. We need to make sure that Greenvale doesn't get hit by a full-scale attack. Now, the friendship between the dwarves and the elves has always been precarious. A little meddling here and there, and I think we could spark off some less than cordial relations between them. At least we can if we make each race think that the other side is causing trouble. Now, the minions will need some disguises. The dwarves have special diplomatic envoy outfits they use when visiting. Less stains on you, see? My guess is we'll find them within the dwarf foundry. Careful, sire. Dwarves love to fight, almost as much as they like to drink, vomit and fall over.
The entertainment's here!
Get out!
My granny's tougher than you lot!
It's dwarf envoys. I must remember not to inhale. Very well, in you go, friends. And don't break anything.
That sweet-smelling bloom is a rare lotus flower. Destroy the elves' precious petals, and they'll never, ever forgive the dwarves. By my claws, Erasmus has managed to create stalkers. They're the siege weapon of the Plant Kingdom, sire, and very dangerous. Destroy the lotus flowers, Lord, or the stalkers will keep coming.
The dwarves are attacking the hothouses!
Quick, brothers, we must protect them.
The last two lotus flowers are ahead. Smash them to pieces, and the elves will gladly nail up the dwarves by their grubby beards. You've driven that balmy botanist to the edge. Now, time to push him over it.
You took my greens! You stole my hive! You killed my babies! But I am not fooled! I see what you really are, little Lord Gromgard! No! I must tell the others it wasn't the dwarves who were attacking. I must tell.
Erasmus, what's all this about rampaging dwarves? Erasmus, oh Erasmus, like a fallen leaf you have been crushed beneath the iron-shod feet of a cruel world. The dwarves did this, and I bet my sister's behind it, trying to weaken me so she can get her mitts on Greenvale. Those pint-sized pedal pushers will rue the day they cross Grenville Gromgard.
Masterfully done, sire. The plan's in motion. Now let's make the dwarves think the elves are attacking them. Find a way to elf up, lads.
Oh!
Now, sire, you need to go back to the Golden Hills and mess with the tiny, tiny brains of the dwarves.
Oh, it's the elves come visiting us lowly dwarves. What have we done to deserve such an honor?
Those are very short elves. They must be the new recruits.
Seems Widget's hoarding treasure behind those riveted doors. Why not relieve him of the rest of it, sire?
So you tried to sneak in here, trying to mess with my nubblies, eh? Well, We'll have none of that, boyo!
Careful! Widget may have a few screws loose, but that suit looks dangerous.
Widget, have you heard? Oh, my Widget! What have they done to you? No!
Lady Gerda, we found this.
I know who's behind this scheming streak of dogbot. If Grenville and his wet elf fox want a war, then I'll give them one.
And so the elves and the dwarves all went to war. The battle raged, but the arrogant elves and the stubborn dwarves would not give up or surrender. And so instead they handed their grudges down through the generations and would continue to hit each other with sharp objects until one side stopped moving. As for Grenville and Gerda, they eventually grew tired of fighting a war that each thought the other had started. And each returned to Castle Grumgard with the hopes of claiming the family estate. But someone was waiting for them. And they were put to work restoring Castle Grumgard to its former glory. The land returned to dutiful subservience under the thumb of villainous tyranny, content in the knowledge that evil was back in charge. With all his responsibilities taken care of, the Duke was free to continue his quests for fortune and maybe a new wife.